So maybe I'll talk about attributes. I don't know if they're skills, but I think you only need two things. I think you need an idea, and I think you need passion. And I've seen lots of examples where people had a great idea and not the kind of enthusiasm or passion to leg out all the things that entrepreneurs have to go through. And I've seen lots of people who are super passionate about wanting to work for themselves. You know, the idea of, I want to be my own boss, but they don't have a really great idea that's going to stand out in the marketplace and really get consumers or other businesses or whoever they're trying to sell their idea to or their product or service to really, move the market, so to speak, in a way that's competitive and differentiated and sustainable. But I think if you look at the best entrepreneurs, and there's fantastic examples in Saskatchewan of great ideas that happen to sit at the feet of people who had tremendous passion and drive, and I think there's lots of success stories where you'd see both clearly if you're looking for those two things.
So I guess getting back to the financial side for an entrepreneur to start their business, what general advice can you offer to entrepreneurs that are seeking capital? So what do they need to look as professional as they possibly can when they come through the door to meet with you and your people?
Yeah, so just a well thought out idea and a really clear kind of roadmap of how they're going to get there in a funny sort of way. Also acknowledging, what's the strengths of their proposal and acknowledging what the weaknesses are and how they're going to account for that. There's lots of times where people come in and they're maybe really great at whatever it is they're proposing in terms of business idea, but they haven't given any thought to what are the weaknesses and how they're going to, account for or plan for or hire for to solve for those. And in a funny way, it's kind of connected to the leadership conversation, that people don't account for the stuff that they're not that good at. But I think that's it. Just have a great plan, have spent the required time and energy thinking about it and the scenarios. And that doesn't mean if one of the scenarios comes in and says there's a chance that we're not going to make it. I would tell you I've seen lots of businesses not make it. But I've also seen lots of businesses where, maybe half the scenarios what they were going to just squeak by and they've been wildly successful and kind of taken off. So I think just spend the time and energy making sure you've really thought through all the so what implications of your business and the idea and how you might respond to those things.
So that being said, you've probably seen a lot of mistakes being made in your days. Can you call out any of those, like just some examples?
I'll give you the biggest one I see all the time. So again, you've got the two things. You've got somebody who's got a great idea and they've got incredible passion. And I see it all the time where maybe somebody's worked in a business. So they've worked in a certain discipline or industry, and then they found something about that industry that they think, you know what, I could actually build a business around this. And let's say it's plumbing. So I can serve the customer better, or there's a different niche that maybe I can go after. And so somebody who's really great at plumbing decides they're going to be a business owner. So what they do is they run a business, and P.S., that's new for them. And then what do? They go out and hire a bunch of plumbers that maybe do it different than they intended. So now this wonderfully great idea about how they were going to do plumbing different, serve the customer different, they're not doing it in the field. And they've got an inexperienced, with the greatest respect, plumber running the business. And so we can appreciate on both sides of the equation, maybe the skills don't match up to what was intended. So I think understand what you're good at. Hire for those things you're not good at. And I always encourage entrepreneurs, go build your idea. If it's a business service or if it's trades, go do the trade. You can hire out the business management part of the business until you build some skills on how to do it well yourself. But do what you're good at and hire out the things you're not good at. And there's lots of ways to do that. And then the other thing I would say is there's a bit of a maybe misnomer, I think, in entrepreneurship that working for myself is going to be this panacea. I'll be golfing by 2 p.m. And I was once at a conference, and the company Fast Gas, the owner is a guy by the name of Jack Donald. And he said, this is the best advice you could ever give an entrepreneur. Stay at your 8 to 5 job, do your other business from 5 till about midnight, and do that for a year. And if you survive, then go into business for yourself. But just recognizing the amount of time, energy, effort it requires to get a business off the ground, I think some people kind kind of grossly underestimate the kind of personal commitment, life choices, sacrifices that have to happen to get businesses off the ground and to be successful. And I think it struck me. That story was from 15 years ago, and I still tell it to entrepreneurs today when they come in and I meet with them in my work.